Ben was a small boy who loved to draw. He didn't have fancy toys or expensive books, but he had a heart full of imagination. Every day he would sit outside his tiny house with a stick and draw pictures in the dirt. He drew trees, animals, and even castles, dreaming of a world filled with color. But there was one problem: Ben had no colors to bring his drawings to life. One evening, as Ben was sketching a little bird on the ground, an old man with a long white beard walked by. He carried a small wooden box and had kind eyes that twinkled like stars. "What are you drawing, little one?" the old man asked. Ben looked up and smiled. "A bird, sir, but I wish I had colors to make it real." The old man chuckled. "Perhaps I can help." He opened the wooden box and pulled out a beautiful paintbrush. The handle was golden, and the bristles shimmered like the morning sun. "This is a magic paintbrush," the old man said, placing it gently in Ben's hands. "Whatever you paint with it will come to life." Ben gasped. "Really?" The old man nodded. "But use it wisely. Only those with a kind heart can keep its magic." Excited, Ben dipped the brush into the air, and to his amazement, a bright blue color appeared on its tip. He quickly painted a small bird on the ground, and within seconds, the bird flapped its wings and flew away, chirping happily. "It works!" Ben laughed with joy. For days, Ben painted wonderful things. He painted a loaf of bread when he was hungry, fresh apples for his mother, and soft blankets to keep his family warm. Soon, the people in his village heard about the magic paintbrush, and they came to Ben for help. "Can you paint food for my children?" asked a poor woman. "Can you make me a new roof for my house?" begged an old man whose home was broken. Ben never said no. He painted warm coats, delicious meals, and even a small bridge over the river so people could cross safely. The village was happier than ever, but not everyone was kind. A greedy man named Mr. Grindle heard about Ben's magic paintbrush. He was rich, but he always wanted more. One night, he sent his guards to steal the paintbrush while Ben was sleeping. The next morning, Mr. Grindle held the brush and laughed. "Now I can have anything I want." He painted bags of gold, but when he reached to grab them, they turned into dust. He painted a grand palace, but as soon as he stepped inside, it disappeared. No matter what he painted, the magic didn't work. Angry, Mr. Grindle stormed back to Ben's house. "Your paintbrush is broken," he shouted. Ben shook his head. "The paintbrush only works for those who use it for good." Furious, Mr. Grindle threw the brush on the ground and stomped away. Ben picked it up and smiled, knowing he had done the right thing. From that day on, Ben continued to use the magic paintbrush to help others. His village became the happiest place in the land, and Ben's kindness was remembered forever. One day, the king of the land heard about Ben's magic paintbrush and the wonderful things he had done. He sent a royal messenger to invite Ben to the palace. Ben, though surprised, accepted the invitation and traveled to the grand castle. When he arrived, the king greeted him warmly. "Ben, I have heard of your kindness and generosity. You have used your magic paintbrush to bring joy to many people. I would like to reward you." Ben shook his head. "Your Majesty, I do not need a reward. I only want to help those in need." The king smiled. "That is exactly why I have another gift for you." He clapped his hands, and a servant brought forward another wooden box. Inside was a second magic paintbrush, even more beautiful than the first. "This brush," said the king, "will never run out of colors, and it will always work for you because of your pure heart." Ben was overjoyed. With his new paintbrush, He continued painting houses, food, and clothes for those in need. His village flourished, and soon nearby towns also came to seek his help. Years passed, and Ben grew up to be a wise and kind-hearted artist. His story spread far and wide, and children would gather around him every evening to hear the tale of the magic paintbrush. And so, the legend of Ben and his magical paintbrush lived on for generations, reminding everyone that true magic lies in kindness and sharing with others. Moral of the story: true magic lies in kindness, generosity, and using our gifts to help others.